I know I've been gone for a while, right? I've been gone 4 months. I haven't posted anything since December. Sometimes one just does not feel like posting anything. Okay. Sometimes life happens. Sometimes things are happening. But what I will always do is have something to say. So I'm back and I have something to say. It's going to be a short video. But I was thinking the other day about rejection. I hate rejection personally. Like, I hate to hear no. I say no a lot though, but I hate to hear no. Because I hate to hear no, I'm someone that plans. Like I plan everything. I remember that when I was growing up, because again, we need to understand that the people that we are today as adults, whether you want to refer to yourself as a millennial or Gen Z or a boomer, whatever it is, right? Because we like to divide ourselves into these little boxes so we can identify with other people. Not necessarily anything wrong with that. Sometimes it does become negative. But anyway, I digress. Going back. Through my experience growing up, right? Something my father used to do. Whenever I'd ask him for something I really wanted or something I really wanted to do, he would always ask me a series of questions that I didn't always have answers to. As a kid, you just want to be able to go to your parent and say, I want this thing. And then have them tell you, oh, okay, yes or no, or mostly yes, of course, but like yes or no, or like I can't afford it, or I can, whatever it is. But you like want your parent to be able to make you feel good, even if they are rejecting or not getting the thing for you at that time. But what my father would always do is ask me a series of questions. What do you want it for? Why do you want it? Why is it important? How much is it? How does it affect other people? How does it affect you? Is it going to add to your life? Is it not going to add to your life? So many questions. So I got used to whenever I wanted to ask for something, I had to have all the answers so I wouldn't get a no. Most times I did get no, but he would always tell me like if you had the answers, I'll say yes. So I started always trying to have all the answers before asking for something. And it's followed me into adulthood, where even now, before I get something for myself, I have to ask myself all of these questions. Is it important? Do you need it? Like, what does it add to your life? I think that that's a good aspect of it, right? It's a good aspect. But it's also like I remember my father doing this and then still saying no. Nowadays, if I'm getting something myself, if it makes sense, I'll say yes and I'll buy it for myself and I'll get it for myself. But my father almost always said no. Instead of just saying I don't have money, or I don't think it's important, he would make me go through, like, jump through hoops, and then he would say no. So I hate rejection. I hate having to work to have all the answers and then go to someone and say, these are the things, and then you say no. It's like, why did I bother working that hard for you to just say no? So that is my identity with rejection. But as I'm learning about different things, as I'm learning about different people and different experiences, and I'm, speaking with other people and listening to other people, I'm realizing that rejection is a really, really broad aspect of many people's lives. Many people don't like to be rejected. None of us do. None of us actually like to be rejected. But it is how we take rejection that is causing us to not be able to experience each other in a loving and healthy way, right? Because one major aspect of consent that is very hard for people to understand, people that like to take things without asking, people that don't like rejection, is the aspect of rejection. Because it's like if I ask for consent, I will be rejected, so I'm not going to ask for it. So I'm going to play games. So I'm going to just feel it out. No, rejection, you have to work through that feeling of, if I get rejected, I feel a certain way. I won't like it. I'll be embarrassed. I'll be angry. Like that all comes from fear, right? It comes from fear. So you have to be able to take rejection and take it in a healthy way for you to be able to then understand and work with consent. And consent is not just between man and woman where it has like sexual connotation, right? Consent is literally every day, everywhere with every person, including yourself. So, first of all, with yourself, you have to ask yourself, take consent from yourself. Do I want to do this today? Yes or no? Maybe? Do I feel like doing this today? Is it good? Will it add to my life? Would it add to someone else's life? That is the process of consenting to keep doing things, to keep living, to keep interacting with people. You're having that conversation with yourself every day. So why is it that when you reject yourself, if you do reject yourself, if you do decide not to do things, that you don't get as upset with yourself as you get with other people when they say, no, I don't feel like it. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it. I don't think that's good for me. Why do you get so visceral? Why do you get so upset? Unless you're not consenting with yourself, unless you've not learned consent with yourself, right? Because you need to do that. You yourself are a person. And if you're able to understand these things within yourself and then within your close inner circle, you're able to extend it to other people as you go on within life. Rejection is never the end. It's just someone else saying, I don't feel like joining you on this path. And you say, okay, I will figure it out. I will refine this. I will look for someone else. I will take a different path. What's that? Consent. You have to work through the idea that rejection is so hard because yes, there's a visceral feeling when someone says no. That's like, oh, why would you do that? Why wouldn't they? They have the right to. You have the right to. Now, of course, consent and rejection, there's nuance, different situations, different scenarios, things like that. But when it comes to individual, one-on-one, one-to-one, it's important to understand consent. It's important to understand that your feeling of rejection has nothing to do with them, but everything to do with you working through that emotion, having a clear mind and critically thinking before responding or taking on any actions from that. Now, when we're talking about on a global societal scale, it becomes more nuanced, like I said before, because when organizations that you know should say yes, then say no, you have to fight it, right? If you know this thing is good for the society, for people, for like health reasons and all that, and then a big, like, the what they call the big companies that all only think about profits, they keep blocking you and saying no. That conversation different because the rejection is just stopping you from doing better things for society. That's different, right? Again, everything is nuanced. Conversations. That's why you have to interact with people and learn from people and see people as people. Again, without talking about like putting people in boxes, you have to see people as people first before you begin to identify them by all these identifiers we want to keep putting out there, like race and ethnicity and nationality, all of these things. They're first people before their identifiers. And if you see people as people, you begin to understand that that is someone like me. I would like someone to take consent from me. I would like to be able to say no or yes if I want to. I'd like to be able to express my feelings without being, put down or projected upon. Anyway, I didn't want this to be a long video. I just felt like talking about rejection and it kind of devolved into consent. But I will try to make more videos now. I have a better setup now, and so it's easier to film the videos like this than to use my phone and be struggling everywhere. But I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, even if you didn't, click the follow button, follow, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments. Share your ideas, share your thoughts, because I cannot know what you're thinking without us having a conversation. So that is important. Anyway, have a lovely day, and I will chit chat with you guys soon.